Good morning, all. I hope you slept well. I did indeed, man. I had some crazy dreams. They were kind of scary, actually. They're a little bit along the lines of nightmares. I wasn't a big fan of them, to say the least. I don't know. It was the most bizarre thing. It was weird. It was like I was in this hotel room around people I had no idea who I was around, surrounded by. And my sister was there. But she was like, she kept coming and going. And I had my phone, but I couldn't use my phone. My messages wouldn't work. My text messages wouldn't work. I couldn't get it up and going. And then there's these people. It was just the weirdest dream. In different ways of the dream, I felt like I was almost suffocating in it a little bit. And it was really peculiar. But I now see the back end of it, of different things that God's kind of showing me in the dream. And I'm not going to really go down the rabbit hole too much on that. It's just clear as day what follows me, what surrounds me. And all those entangled in it, and all of those that have done XYZ in my life. And it's just crazy. It really is. I'll just never understand it. I really won't. I'll never understand what possesses people to do such horrific things to someone for no good reason. No good reason. There's never good reason to inflict hate and manipulation and gaslighting and tactics and antics and illusions and just the most to create chaos. In my world, the last 3 years, people have went out of their way to create chaos in my world. Intentionally create chaos. And it's crazy to me because we already live in a very stressful, chaotic world. Easy, freely. Chaos is free right now. All right. So to imagine we have people in the world purposefully inflicting chaos in people's lives intentionally is crazy to me. And these are grown adults that throw rocks and hide their hands, that throw swords and hide their hands. They intentionally act like this. And then they consider themselves religious people. They consider themselves leaders. I'm sorry, that is not a leader. Leaders don't act like that. People of power don't act like that. You just don't. Your dignity, your grace, your morals, your values won't allow you to if you carry them. I hate to break it to you. I know it's a spicy video, but it's the truth. It is the truth. We got to get away from a world that does this kind of activities. We really just do. I won't entertain it. It doesn't even work no more. By the grace of God, I've been able to forge this little force field around me where it bings right off of me because of just how much I'm so connected in my mind that I just won't allow anything or anyone or any circumstance to penetrate it. I just won't. I've been through too much and gotten too far for me to give up now. And it's not even about giving up. It was all divinely orchestrated for me to get to this point, for me to learn everything that I've learned, for me to gain everything that I've gained, the knowledge, the wisdom, the experience, the humility, the grace, and learn to love myself as much as I love other people. I never had an issue loving other people. That was never my issue. I had an issue loving myself. That was my biggest hurdle. Learning to love myself. I've always loved other people. It's been the detriment of me. I look at everybody with a heartbeat. I always will. I don't look at anybody on the exterior. I look at their soul. I look at their heart. That's what I do. And you can call me crazy. You can call me this. You can call me ill, but it's just the truth. And everybody that has done the most behind my back, it's true. And I'm thinking of a few of you right now. I don't know how you sleep, honestly. quite frankly. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. That's something they're going to have to talk about with God. Remember who you are in God. You know, I am really big on affirmations and lifting myself up, giving myself a pat on the back. This week's going to be a busy week for me. I am working quite a bit, both my jobs. And so I'm going to hang low today, going to rest, going to work on some things, and just take it in stride and journal and get in my Bible. You know, I never received Assault on Truth. It was on back order, so I'm going to have to download it. I'm working on getting a new phone too. That's in the pipeline because this is madness. But anyways, remember who you are in God. You were created intentionally. Nothing about you is accidental. Nothing about you is accidental. Nothing about me is accidental. Why? Because we were created perfectly and wonderfully made. All of us were created perfectly and wonderfully made in God, right? We've all addressed that. Okay. So nothing is an accident. Psalms 139:14. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I didn't see that. That's great. Your worth isn't tied to productivity, perfection, or people's opinions. Your worth is not tied to that. So often enough, we think our worth is tied to perfection, other people's opinions, your status quo, your money, your credit score. No, that is not your worth. That is not your worth. Your worth is your acts of service, your acts of kindness, your soul, what you pour out into this world. Those are the things that matter. That is what your worth is. I'm telling you, when your day comes and you go into the ground, you're going to have these conversations with God. I promise you, you will. Give yourself grace. Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll rise, some days you'll rest. God's love doesn't decrease when you fall short. Today is a short day. Today is a short day. I'm feeling the heaviness. I connected some more dots yesterday in reference to my timeline the last 5 years and conversations with girlfriends, my ex-husband, and just, oh my gosh, my ex-sister-in-law was in my dream too. Golly. Speak to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you're guiding through pain. Exactly. I speak to myself the way that I've always spoken to other people, guiding them through hardships. I now speak to myself like that. Seeing as I lived in a world where nobody wanted to throw me a rope, give me a helping hand, everybody wanted to just mock, laugh, literally prey on my downfall. I found my love in God. By the grace of God, amen. Seriously. Affirm your growth out loud. I am becoming who God created me to be. I release what no longer aligns with peace. I do. I am safe, I am loved, and I am guided. Everything that leaves makes room for what is meant to stay. If people leave your life, if circumstances leave your life, you know, you need to change your job or this and that, you're meant to. You're meant to. You know, there's nothing wrong with change. If you've outgrown circumstances, outgrown people, evolved past it, there's nothing wrong with change. There's also nothing wrong with recognizing that the life you're in is working against you and it's time for a change, like resigning. Crazy. Y'all are crazy. Protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your spirit. I know that's right. Boundaries are sacred. Boundaries are very sacred. It's very important to know your boundaries and your standards and stand on it. Say no to chaos. Say yes to peace. Surround yourself with people who water your soul, not drain it. I was surrounded by people that drained my soul. They definitely didn't water it intentionally. You know how hard that was when you just loved them unconditionally, and still do. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but the power, love, and a sound mind. I know I got my sound mind. They weren't planning on that. Nor were they planning on me remembering everything. But golly, when you did so much, how do you expect me not to remember it? Really? I mean, just have you asked yourself that? Literally did the most. Every small act of love towards yourself is an act of worship. When you're worshiping or loving yourself, you're also worshiping God. Because God knows when you're at peace with yourself, you grow to